6 nutrition strategies for long-term leanness and a high quality of life is what we're going to discuss in this particular video today. And if you'd like a free copy of the entire report, email me and I'll send it to you, scott@infinityfitness.com, 7 days per week. So what are 6 key strategies that Dr. Eric Serrano MD and myself, Scott Mendelson, have established to help people earn a low level of body fat, stay lean over the long term, and have a high quality of life? So what's high quality of life? To me, based on feedback from tens of thousands of clients over close to 23 years, it's having high daily energy and in general feeling good, feeling confident, not being in pain, feeling that every day goes by pleasantly, so to speak, and productively. So it has a lot to do with the brain. And of course, how does the brain get fueled? Certainly food and dietary fats make a very big difference. And if you can emphasize organic food choices in terms of dietary fats and proteins, you're way ahead of the game in terms of properly fueling the brain. So let's go through some strategies. Number 1, no refined foods. If it was not originally on this earth and it's put in a box or a can or is kind of synthetically assembled as it relates to different food sources, you want to avoid it, right? So that's your baked goods, your cereals, your desserts, your pasta, bread, of course, things of that nature. You have a pretty good idea of what are refined foods that aren't really existing in nature, very man-made, so to speak. They do not create a very good response for the body. Some people worse than others, but in general, you can look at it this way. We're really cavemen and cavewomen in fancy clothing, and that our digestive systems have not evolved very much over the last 10,000 years. So when you introduce something like bread and you eat it, guess what? The body doesn't really know what it is. It doesn't know how to respond properly. So what does it do? It elevates fat storage hormones, insulin being a key one, and also probably raises the stress levels depending on how it impacts that person from a digestive standpoint. So if you can avoid refined foods, you are going to have better body composition, better daily energy, and a much higher quality of life, guaranteed. Give it time. For most people, the difficulty is, well, they have cravings for refined foods, they taste good, they're available all the time, they see them at parties and so forth. Yes, I get it. But if you give it 2 to 3 weeks without refined foods, your body is going to feel a lot better. And your taste buds will also change quite a bit as well, so the cravings should subside. Then you start seeing improvements in body composition and daily quality of life, and guess what? The motivation to avoid refined foods improves dramatically at that point when you can associate those benefits. But most people never get to that point because they really can't go more than 2 to 3 weeks without the refined foods, or they have a poor plan to begin with, they're hungry, it's poorly designed and so forth, and that's a whole different story. But if you're looking to reduce your body fat and improve your quality of life as fast as you can, the 21-day Fat Cell Cleanse Nutrition System files spell out everything that you need, and I can email those to you, scott@infinityfitness.com. Those files spell it out in terms of sample meal plans, everything to do and why it is so effective for fat burning and improving daily energy in terms of shifting the body from using carbohydrate, sugars, as an energy source to using more stored fat as fuel. So again, that's the 21-day Fat Cell Cleanse Nutrition System designed to outsmart up to 10 pounds of body fat in just 3 weeks. Email me, scott@infinityfitness.com, and I'll be happy to send it to you. What is strategy number 2? Well, carbohydrates are activity dependent. Carbohydrates are not the enemy. Certainly, when you're trying to maximize rates of body fat loss, do you want to limit carbohydrate? Yes, you do at times. However, after a certain period of time, when the body switches to using more stored fat as fuel, it actually becomes more tolerant to using carbohydrate effectively. As Dr. Serrano puts it, the right sources, timing, amounts of carbohydrate are actually very effective for fat burning. It's like putting a huge log on the fat burning fire. Very controversial. In terms of how much carbohydrate should somebody have, should they have it regularly? You have people in different camps. Well, let me put it this way. If you want to maximize your body comp and performance and quality of life, some carbohydrate is needed periodically. Again, the frequency is a very individual factor that I help clients balance. But you most definitely want to use carbohydrate sources such as rice, potatoes, fruits during the meal following exercise. And what do we consider exercise? To me, I consider it training, exercising for a purpose, whether it be to improve your body composition or performance. So to me, that's weight training and fat burning interval work. Very intense, short duration. You know, those sessions can range anywhere from 30 to 50 minutes, again, depending on the person and how much training volume they need for their individual needs and what their recovery capacity may be. But that creates specific metabolic and hormonal conditions that make it conducive to having carbohydrate during that meal following training with an equal amount of dietary fats and also proteins, right, at that meal post-exercise. And again, natural sources like rice, potatoes, carbohydrates that are naturally derived, also fruits, create a much different response for the body than, let's say, refined carbohydrates such as your bread and pasta. And the alpha mega M3 makes a huge difference with the meal following training because it helps as a nutrient partitioning agent to drive carbohydrate into hungry muscles instead of spilling over into billions of fat cells. Also helps to naturally optimize insulin sensitivity. Insulin, the body's most potent fat storage hormone, would typically rise when your carbohydrate levels increase. And we want to keep those levels in check. We don't want to eliminate it. And if you can keep your insulin levels in check, that's very important for long-term low body fat levels and also high quality of life factors. If your insulin's running high, you're in a very bad position from many perspectives. So you've got to get that under control. And the alpha mega M3 includes a scientifically engineered blend of multiple essential fats Dr. Eric Serrano MD assembled based on many years of successful patient research. It includes specific balances of EPA and DHA. That's your fish oil that's toxin filtrated. GLA, CLA, ALA, vitamin E, avocado oil, extra virgin olive oil, and flaxseed oil, all in special ratios Dr. Serrano has developed based on, again, many years of successful patient research looking at their body composition, their quality of life, their hormonal blood work, and much more. So the alpha mega M3 is very special from that perspective. How often are you rotating your foods? One of the mistakes that people who eat clean or eat consistently, call it that, make is that they eat the same foods too often and the body gets sick of them. So inherently, we're all born sensitive to certain things, right? And you can establish that looking at a certain blood test that Dr. Serrano likes to do with patients. But interestingly, you can become very sensitive to certain foods that you've eaten too often over the course of your life. Chicken being a very common one for, let's say, bodybuilders, and eggs. And what happens during that meal? Following that meal, you don't feel good. Energy levels are low. You're sluggish. You have joint pain. Your brain's not working well. Well, why would you want to bring that onto yourself? So the key is, if you establish that certain foods don't make you feel good, eliminate them for a while. And you'll notice better energy, better quality of life, and better body composition. Well, that's a huge win, but most people don't know what they don't know. And that's what myself and Dr. Serrano are here for, to help people fix problems. Now, something else to consider too, if you've consumed the same foods too often and you're starting to have bad reactions to them, that can also signal that you're lacking in digestive enzymes. Your body's depleted them, which happens with age, but also for somebody that's eaten the same foods over and over again and they've stressed the digestive system, they may be depleted in terms of digestive enzymes. So the EZ14 Digestive Enzyme Catalyst helps to repair that situation, providing specific ratios of digestive enzymes the body makes and other digestive enzymes the body doesn't make that Dr. Serrano assembled. And it makes people feel so much better. In combination with changing up your food sources and also taking the EZ14, people feel so much better following their meals. They don't have bloating, they don't have sluggishness, and guess what? Then they don't have as many cravings for bad food choices. Isn't that helpful? They make better choices in terms of exercise and nutrition. So the EZ14 and the alpha mega M3 for that matter really facilitate better execution with your nutrition plan. That's really important because, as we know, consistency is really the key to success. Consistently doing the right things. Well, if you're constantly having cravings and low energy, makes it very difficult to be consistent. So the alpha mega M3 and the EZ14, in addition to all of their factors to help with fat burning, they help to improve your quality of life and daily energy so you can make better choices ongoing. We're born with billions of fat cells. We can gain more by eating the wrong things, such as foods fried in corn oil, but we can't get rid of the billions of fat cells that we have. So understand, if you're somebody that's eaten poorly over a period of time, you probably have more fat cells than you need. And unfortunately, they're permanent in nature, so it's a larger fat storage warehouse. So what do? One, You don't want to have trans fats or preservatives, things that are meant to extend shelf life in a store, for example. You see them on the labels, canola oil, soybean oil, things in margarine, things like that. Well, if they extend life of a product on the shelf for years, when they get into your fat cells, they get stuck in there. The fat cells doesn't know what to do with them, so the fat cells increase in size, and that's how we get fatter, right? That's one of the societal reasons, besides a high sugar intake, is that society has gotten to be very obese is because their fat cells are all screwed up. That's a leading factor along with high insulin. So when you have billions of fat cells, what do? You want to keep them clean and pristine. So one, you want to have good dietary fats, such as extra virgin olive oil, raw nuts without added oils, guacamole, things of that nature, organic dietary fats in your protein sources. And that helps to cleanse the fat cells to a degree. The alpha-MegaM3 is very important for cleansing billions of fat cells. It helps the fat cells to communicate properly so they can do what they were meant to do. And guess what? We provide the essential fats within the alpha-MegaM3 that the body wants. It takes in those good essential fats, kicks out the larger bad crap that's in the cells to be mobilized as fuel. Then the cells collectively shrink in size. And that's an important way that we lose body fat quickly, and that we also keep body fat levels low over the long term. Because when billions of fat cells are satisfied, they're a lot less likely to suck up other garbage in the bloodstream, even when your food choices are far less than perfect. So those are several tips. I almost lost track of the 6. But again, if you click through to the image we had at the beginning of this video, you'll get the rest of the report, some different videos, a different write-up. We're full of great information. But if you're somebody watching this video that wants to improve your body composition, your performance, your quality of life, email me and I will give you a personal response and interact with you to make suggestions to help you. Scott@infinityfitness.com, 7 days a week.